Hey there, YouTube, and all the students taking the Level Up class that I created. I want to introduce you to another tool that you can use as a Jedi mind trick to have more success in social situations with all your relationships and just overall communication and a whole lot less drama, failures, and facepalm moments. So real quick, if you haven't seen my other tools that I shared with you on the YouTube channel, go back and watch Statements versus Questions and Connection Before Concern, because this tool follows in perfect order right after those two. In fact, using this tool is going to help the latter tools be more effective so that you can land with everyone that you're trying these Jedi mind tricks with. But before I tell you what this tool is, I'm going to give you a couple scenarios, and I want you to answer a question for me. The question I have for you is, in these two scenarios, which one of these scenarios makes me sound more like a victim, someone who's helpless and incapable, and which one of these makes me sound more like a bad A that's not scared of the future, that's ready to take chances and risks in their life and see what they're made of? So let me run the scenario by you. There's a teenage boy that loves basketball. In fact, he's played basketball every single year growing up ever since he's really young. But now he's in high school, now he's a sophomore, and he's trying out for the JV basketball team. In this scenario, this young man is scared to try out, except there's a few problems. One of the problems is he believes the coach doesn't like him because last year the coach made some comments that made him feel that the coach didn't think he was a good player and really didn't want him on the team. Second, he can't bear the embarrassment of not making it on the team because his mom and dad were both very successful basketball players, and he'd be ashamed or feel like he shamed his family if he didn't make it on the JV squad. And third, a little extra secret, he hasn't been training that hard, he hasn't been working out that much, he hasn't been putting a lot of effort into getting ready for the tryouts because he's slowly been telling himself that it doesn't matter, it's probably not gonna work out, and he probably won't get picked on the team anyways. So now I'm gonna pretend to be this boy. I'm gonna give you two different statements, and I want you, like I said, to tell me which one sounds more like he's being the victim, and which one sounds more like he's being the bad A, and he's ready to go for it.
Speed, marker, and action.
Man, I really want to try out for the basketball team, but I know it doesn't matter because the coach already has his favorites. After I missed that shot last year on the freshman team, the JV coach has never forgotten that, always makes comments like he doesn't think I'm a good shooter, and there's already a bunch of shooters on the team. So what's the point of even trying out? I know that I'm not gonna make it.
Speed, marker, and action.
Man, I really want to try out for the basketball team. I wish there was some way that I could get my coach to like me again or to be one of his favorites, because as of right now, I'm feeling like no matter what I do, won't be good enough for him. And I also know me, and I know my parents. If I don't try out, they'll be even more disappointed in me than if I don't make it. And if I don't try out, I'll never know if I could have made it. Now, from those two situations, I'm pretty sure you can probably guess which one of those sounds more like a victim, someone who's helpless and hopeless, and which one sounds more like a person who, yeah, it sucks, they're not happy about their situation, they wish it was different, and they also realize it's gonna suck a whole lot more if they avoid one simple fact, and that is they love basketball. And if you love something,
Get my head in the game.
you gotta get your head in the game. You gotta go after it. So the reason why I shared these two examples with you is because today's tool is about one simple, very powerful word that you might have accidentally used before in your life, but the majority of people don't realize how putting this word into certain sentences can change you from feeling defeated, feeling like you're a victim, to feeling powerful, capable, and having a whole lot more options. This tool is called the and. With this tool, you simply replace but with and. And as you can tell by listening to those two examples, when you use the word but, like I did in the first example, it makes you sound like you've tapped out. You've given up. You've surrendered. In this scenario, if this young man used but, he would have felt like a victim, he would have felt weak, and he eventually would have surrendered to the insecurities and fears of him not making the team. When you use the word and, it's a game changer. In all the years I worked as a crisis counselor, working with teenagers in places like psychiatric hospitals, crisis treatment centers for abused kids and abused teenagers, I always came across kids and teenagers that had a lot of bad situations and bad things happen to them in their life. And when I listened to them at the worst times in their life talk about their struggles, how difficult things were for them, I'd see that when they used the word but over and over and
over and over and over and over and over and over and over and over and over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
When they were talking to me, they started to slowly lose self-confidence, entertain more self-doubt, and eventually believe that all the things that they've went through, all the bad things that happened to them, was an example of just who they were, or was proof that they're not capable and not good enough. But then every now and then, I talk to a young person that went through horrible experiences that, anyone going through their experiences would have been devastated and crushed by. But for some reason, when these teenagers talked about their experiences, they would use the word and more often when talking about their struggles than they would use the word but. I remember one time a girl came to me, she said, "David, I don't care about how many times I've been in trouble. I don't care about how many mistakes I've made.
Don't care, don't care, don't care, still don't care.
And I don't care about how many people that I've disappointed in my life. Because if I care about those things right now, I'll never change it. I know who I am and I know what I gotta do." And I remember looking at her going, dang, how did she get like that boss attitude? How did she get so much confidence? So I asked her, I said, why don't you give up? Why don't you quit? Why do you keep on going? Why do you keep on trying to get good grades in school, even though you're living in a residential center because your parents weren't good parents and didn't take good care of you, because you're taken out of your home from the California Child Protective Services? I asked her all this because out of all the kids I was talking to at that time, she had more reason to give up on herself because her situation was horrible. And she simply told me, she said, I could give up and I could live to regret it. She said that her mom, before she got hooked on drugs, before her mom had a lot of issues, she talked about her mom being a very strong woman. And she said her grandmother was a very strong woman. But both of them, unfortunately, got lost in the sauce, and drugs and a lot of other personal issues ended up ruining their life. She knew and she believed that if she entertained all those victimizing thoughts inside of her mind, she'd fall victim to many of the same things that got her mom and got her grandma. So interestingly enough, she started to change the way she talked. And one of the things that she changed, she said, instead of saying but, I'm gonna always say and. Well, I said, why do you say and? She said, because with and, you got options.
I got options.
So let me share with you a couple examples how you can use and as opposed to but to give you those extra options, to give you the ability to see that maybe I can do something different in the future. Just because I'm scared doesn't mean that I can't do it. In fact, having self-doubt is not some sort of sin or some sort of thing that proves that you're not good enough. In fact, self-doubt is actually a necessity. You have to be scared of something first before you can ever become brave and courageous. Because there'd be no need for bravery and someone to be courageous if you weren't scared to death of something first. So let me share with you a few examples of statements that you can use replacing and with but. Replacing but with and. I would do my homework, but I'm tired, so I can't. Instead, use and it would sound something like this. I'm so tired. And even though I'm so tired, I can still do my homework because I'm more tired of being in trouble and not being able to hang out with my friends. Another one could sound like this. I would ask the girl to dance, but I think she'll probably say no. If you switch it up with an and, it would sound more like this. It's true. I'm scared to ask her to the dance. And I know if I don't ask her to the dance, I'll regret it. I won't be able to stop thinking about it, and I'll beat myself up later for not having the guts to do it. So this should give you guys some basic ideas of how the and works. Now, like I said before, the last couple tools I told you guys about, statements versus questions, connections before concern, this and, you can use that in your statements, not just to help yourself, but to also help other people. Think about it like this. If someone comes to you and they're using a bunch of buts, let's say it's a good friend of yours, or maybe a parent of yours that they're having a down day, and they're saying, I would have done this, but that.
I know what that is. Oh, Sandy Plankin saw one. He said it was called a butt. Wow. That's a pretty big butt.
I would have done this but that. No matter what I do, I'm going to be unhappy. You can look at them and you can say, I don't blame you for being happy. And it's true. There's a lot of things you have going against you that would make you feel down, disappointed, depressed, sad, or insecure. And I also know that just because you're insecure, you have self-doubt, doesn't mean that you can do it. In fact, the person that I know is capable of doing a whole lot more than they realize. So give the and a try, you guys. Let me know what you think. You can leave some messages in the comments. You can leave questions in the comments if you want me to elaborate on this more. But in the meantime, thanks for listening to Mr. Kaz channel. And also thanks for trying these new tools that I like to call Tool Time. And like I said, if you like Jedi mind tricks and you like to have conversations, go with less drama and more success, give these tools a try. Hey guys, thanks for checking out my video. And if you liked it and it gave you some interesting ideas about how to deal with the drama in your life, like, subscribe, share, shoot, you know what to do. And if you want to raise your hand to ask the teacher a question, simply put your question in the comment box. Thanks for watching, Mr. Kaz.